Just got out of church. Today is the 16th of March. It's peak week. The infamous peak week. Man, I'm gonna try to upload this today. I haven't been able to upload YouTube content for the past month. Like, the last time I recorded YouTube content was February 15th. So it's been a month and a day. That can tell you how things have been the past month. But I have been recording. I will say that. I just haven't been editing. I've been recording a lot, but I haven't been editing. I figured I'll take this time to share just a summary of prep, a summary of what things have been like, how I felt, things I've gone through, and just overall what life has been like this past month. Because I think the last time I posted, I was like 39 days out, something like that. A lot has happened, but I'll try to just keep things brief because I don't want to have to edit so much. Hello?
Hey, V.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm not going to end up going to Smithfield because I called them and they said that it's raining really, really, really bad over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
So I'm just going to go ahead and work out.
Okay, that sounds good.
What? I was going to tell you something else. Oh, I was going to tell you, babe. Today's message was really good.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I was actually like talking about it for this YouTube video.
Oh, man. It's really good.
Yeah, it was. Definitely needed that. It was perfect timing for me.
Yeah. Especially, man, there was just so many little nuggets of the whole sermon today, but like when he talks about, I mean, you know, a lot of people familiar with the rat race, right? The rat race. And he talked about that, like how we don't need to be accepted or acknowledged from society about, you know, what we do and how we look and where we live and just all these things, because God already loves you. Or even, man, I really hope they recorded this one because I want to go back to some of the scriptures he talked about. But I think it was in John. I think she's talking about one of the passages in John, and he mentioned how, imagine, right, that guy, he had billions of dollars in debt, had no way to pay it off, and imagine just God comes and not only pays it off and forgives you for your loans, but gives you $1 trillion. And that's really what he's done for us, and we don't see it that way, right? And man, like as he was talking about that story, I'm envisioning it, right? I'm envisioning it like how that moment, you know, feeling so overwhelmed with having financial stress and financial debt, and then boom, somebody comes and pays that off for you, and then gives you another way to go ahead and start your life, which is him being able to you know, in the book he says he gave him like $1 trillion because we have enough money to last you this whole life and your next one. And I've heard that something similar before, but I don't know. Today was just like, today's sermon really just gave me a lot of peace, you know?
Yeah, I think for me it's... I was saying, yeah, I would say the same thing. I think one thing that stood out to me was that there's nothing we can do to make God love us even more than what he does. And I think I find myself like almost feeling like I feel like I have, yeah, not worthy, because I feel like I need to be like perfect to experience the things of God and, you know, his grace, but in reality it's through faith, you know. I think that acronym he used, grace, is God's riches at Christ's expense. And I think even though I know sometimes that, you know, I don't need to be perfect, I just need to come to God as I am. Like, I don't have to like get myself right to get, you know, to go to Jesus. I can just go to him as I am, and he'll work on me. So there are times where, like, if I feel like I'm doing everything correct, I feel like, okay, you know, God's on my side now. Like, he's gonna help me out. He's gonna make things go well for me. But then when I like sin, or if I'm not doing things the right way, or if I'm like go back to like some old habits or something, then I feel like, okay, now like I'm cursed. Like, until I can clean myself up, nothing is gonna go well for me. So just hearing that and knowing that, like, I think what Pastor Bomi was saying, that like just through, you know, through faith, you know, he'll like he still loves you, even like just the same, whether you know, feel like you're doing everything right or you feel like you disobeyed. Like, he doesn't love you any less. So like that really gave me some peace, and just like really just like the faith aspect, because like I started thinking about, like, you know, faith is like the belief in things unseen, you know what I'm saying? So I always related to, like, I always try to relate everything to the gym. I'm like, well, if I'm working out and I eat this food, I know that I'm gonna get stronger or build this muscle or lose this weight, but I can't physically see it happening right away. Now, hopefully that analogy makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I have to like do things to know. I have to do like really good things for God to bless me, but really, whatever good I do is still flawed, just because of like I'm sinful naturally. Like, just humans are naturally sinful. So it's kind of good, or I kind of get peace from that, because it's nothing I have to earn, you know. It's a gift. It's given to me. So I gotta spend some more time in Romans, because that was really good.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned during prep: time is extremely valuable. The amount of times I've like just chosen not to edit, or chosen not to like engage in certain things because I wanted to nap. I will admit, earlier on in prep, I was good. I was really good. I think it wasn't until I was 6 weeks out that I started to really like experience some of the effects of what prepping for a show does. I was very like irritable, you know, like I always I felt like I could have had a short temper. Like, I feel like I'm a naturally calm dude, like a very easygoing, you know, chill dude. At least I think so. But if I wasn't that naturally, I could see myself being just like mean and ugly towards people. Like, I could see that because my patience was like tested a lot with just interactions, whether it was with people, whether it was at work. There were times where I even got irritable, and I would, communicate that to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, like, I'm just, like, my energy is not there right now. I just don't want to talk on the phone. And she was cool with it, like, luckily my girlfriend's very, very understanding. And she would give me my space, she would give me my time to just kind of, be by myself. Not like I wanted to isolate myself from people, but for me, like, to process things, especially if they're new, I have to have my space to, like, just figure out what's going on. And it's not like, something that happens all the time. It's just like, in the moment, I have to be like that. But one thing I could say, like, I don't think I would have been able to do all of this by myself. Like, I don't talk about it a lot, but this man, Andrew, my coach, bro, he has been awesome. He has been amazing. Like, he had a plan for me. And the thing with Andrew is he doesn't, like, it's not just like a template he gives, like, there's some coaches that would just create templates and give to their clients and, like, all right, you just follow this. But this man would, like, adjust certain things based on, like, how it responds. So, like, if my weight spiked, or if I was feeling, low energy, whatever the case may be, based on how I was feeling and how I was responding to the program, this man Andrew was ready to make adjustments. And that helped me out a lot because, there are times where I didn't feel, like, I think it was one day, I think it was like last week, my energy was so low, I was just like, bruh, I do not want to, like, walk. I have 5,000 steps left. And he's like, you know what, just get some rest, it's important to manage fatigue and stress levels. And I was about to just do it anyway, just because I needed to get those steps in. But Andrew really helped out with that, with just, like, adjusting, like, the program. Another thing that helped out, posing, he helped me out a lot with that, just giving me different cues. The check-ins, I had to check in, like, right now I'm checking with him every day with videos and my weight. I remember, like, he would always give me feedback. Like, this man would send me a video every time I checked in. So I used to check in on Mondays and Thursdays. Andrew would literally send a response in a video format, analyzing everything he's seeing, why he's seeing these things, why I'm responding this way, what I should expect next. So I was always on the same page. There wasn't a point where I felt lost during prep in terms of what the program was. And that made it worth the investment. That made it 100% worth the investment. Because if something didn't go well, it was because of something I was doing wrong. Which, like, I will admit, there were times where I didn't stay on program. It got to the point where, like, and this is, like, just the reality of it. There was food in the fridge that I shouldn't be eating, whether it was, like, cake, not even cake, just, like, the food doesn't matter. The point is, I wasn't supposed to eat something, right? And things got so bad, and the cravings got so bad, that I would, like, eat some food, right? Like, chew some food and, like, mush it until it was, like, mush. I would chew it until it was mush, and then I'll spit it out and then rinse my mouth out. That's how bad things got. That's how bad the cravings got. And I only did that a few times just because, like, I would just give in. I'm like, all right, let me just eat I can't help it. Like, I just gotta eat it. I gotta eat this. And I would chew, and then before I even swallow it, I'm like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't worth it. And then I'll spit it out. And bro, like, I don't know why. Like, I haven't ever been like that. Usually, if I'm gonna commit, I was like, bro, just eat it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But that was a moment of weakness. I just didn't, I wasn't strong enough to just not put the food in my mouth. I was strong enough to not swallow, you know, but still, that defeats the purpose, because digestion really starts in chewing. So I'm sure there were some calories I got from that. About to get some gas right now. I just got some gas. I head home. But overall, I learned a lot about myself. I learned earlier on. I tell people this, that the reason why I did this was I needed to do something difficult. I like the grind. I like grit. I like pushing through stuff. I like routine. That's why I chose to do this. I got complacent. I lost weight, felt nice, and over time, you get comfortable. If you don't continuously challenge yourself, you just get complacent. You'll see that a lot in life. People will achieve something and they stop. Like, you'll see great athletes, right? They'll compete, get to the highest level, whether it's the NFL, NBA, and then they just stop. They just they fall off or something. And obviously there's other circumstances, whether it's teams that they're on. There's always other circumstances. You see that in college. You'll see a really, really good high school player go to college, and then they just don't pan out to be what people expect them to be. And same thing. Circumstances vary, right? There are external factors outside of people's control sometimes, but there are cases where people just feel like that's just where my stop ends. I've completed the life or the game of improvement, right? And then the world doesn't stop. The world is continuing to evolve. Things are continuing to move. So if you stop and things are moving, you're going to be outdated. You're operating with the old software. You're due for an upgrade. You're due for, you're due for a higher quality or a higher standard, or how do I explain it? It's almost like you have the chance to update your phone, right? You know how, especially if you have an iPhone, if you don't update your phone, something ain't gonna be working as well, and you're gonna be behind. You're gonna be slow. Your phone's gonna be slower. So for me, that's kind of where I felt like I got to. And the only thing that made sense in that moment, in that season of life, was I need to do a show. I need to do something difficult to really see, all right, are you really about that, Do you really have the mindset to do something difficult, to transform, to commit to something? I could have done anything, I could have done a powerlifting event, I could have done a Spartan race or something. This is just what I chose. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but this is what I chose. There's difficulty in every pursuit, in every goal, everything you're chasing, there's difficulty in everything. And this is the difficulty that I decided to choose. And I will say I definitely learned a lot. I learned a lot. Like, this is exactly what I asked for. We're like 6 days out. 6 days out. And would I do it again? I don't know. It's time consuming. Costs some money. But I think now that I'm on the back end of things, I'm really starting to appreciate everything I had to do, like setting myself up, cooking, weighing stuff, walking. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to appreciate this a lot more. Because earlier on, I felt like, bro, this is miserable. This is awful. This sucks. But there's beauty in the struggle. There's beauty in this. It's forced me to really plan out my day, my routine, and if I had to go back, I would definitely do it again. If I were to go back, there are definitely some things I would have done differently. But that's the point, right? That's the point of experience. Also, huge shout out to Eli. I think Eli has been a very, very monumental part of this prep. I mean, Eli. It's funny. Eli, bro. I can have a whole YouTube video about Eli, but I think one of the most important things, or one of the things I'd like to highlight during this prep, and the impact Eli had. One, he competes. He's a bodybuilder himself. An exceptional bodybuilder. So that's kind of a cheat code for me because I'm next to the guy. Another thing with Eli, a lot of people don't know, and maybe this is what I've noticed. Like Eli, like if you were to look in a dictionary, the definition of locked in, like you'll see the name Elijah Perry. This man Eli be so locked in on just like the work. Like, and we have this running joke. If you know Eli, like this man's watch is never charged. This man's camera battery stays dying. This man just comes into work, And I've learned how important it is to just lock in and just keep the main thing. Even with posing, like, because he's so, like, he pays attention to so much detail, it's helped me out with that, where I can't feel right saying, oh, this is good enough. Like, there are times where Eli, and I'm sure he gets annoyed every time I'm working out with him, and, like, I'm lifting, like, yo, he knows what I'm talking about. I'll always be like, yo, am I straight? Like, and I'm referring to my form, or, like, my posing. And he's like, yeah, you good. Or he'll critique me. Like, he won't let me be comfortable with good enough. Like, that, as long as I've known Eli, even, like, and he won't sugarcoat it. He'll be like, you'll know when he's, like, it's not right, when he's like, like, every time you ask Eli, like, hey, like, is this right? Or, like, how does this look? Sometimes he'll just be like, I was like, all right, nah, it ain't it. And Eli, he's like, he keeps the main thing. And, like, because I value everything he says, I value his opinions, I value his correction, when he does say something is correct, I accept it, because like if it's not, he's not gonna tell you, like he's not gonna lie to you, you know. So like sometimes like if I'm like posing or lifting, as soon as I hear, there we go, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on it, you know. Eli's always like, there you go, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, there you go, bro. Hearing that, I don't know what it is. I mean, that's my dog, so I'm like, you know, say I'm gonna shout him out. Every time I hear that, I know I'm on it. I could be lifting, like if I'm like struggling, like, and I feel like my form is off. As soon as I hear, there you go, mm-hmm, there you go, I already know I'm on it. Because sometimes I don't know, like maybe it's like the validation aspect. You know, I value it. I value what he like his opinions and his thoughts. So hearing that just lets me know, okay, I'm on it. I'm on point. So with Eli, like I'm talking about like when I'm posing, cause I'm not the best poser. I like that's probably my least favorite part about prepping is having to pose. Like I just like working out. I like the work, but I want to win. So in order to win, I got to be the best at posing. So getting like there are times where like I'll pose and we'll have like a posing session or something, and he's like nitpicking everything, and like I need that, you know. Even if I feel like, oh, I look good doing this, like he'll like correct this, like, oh, try to do, like, and he won't let me like get comfortable with where I'm at in terms of like the posing. Like if I can be better, he's gonna let me know. If I can, pay more attention to detail, he's gonna let me know. And I appreciate that. I value that, and that's been one of the most important things. Um, like I would really say he's like a coach of mine as well. Even though he's my dog, he's my brother. Like I saw him as a coach during this. Um, I'm extremely grateful. There have been so many people during this prep that have been like, I mean, huge for like just helping my progress. I mean, there are times my girlfriend would get groceries for me because either I had to go film or I'm tired or something. She'd go get some egg whites for me, or if I ran out of protein powder, she's bringing me some protein powder that she has. Um, it's been extremely helpful. Another person that's been helpful, bro, my sister, Michelle. The amount of times Michelle has like cooked for me or prepped stuff for me, like there are times I probably wouldn't have had food for the week if it weren't for my sister. Because if I'm out, if I have to go walk, or if I'm working out, or if I'm working and like I get home late, sometimes I'll be like, hey, like, you mind just putting the chicken in the oven for me, or hey, do you mind cutting some vegetables for me, or whatever the case may be. Like, she's been extremely helpful. There are times where, I mean, there was one time I was like running late, and like I taught her how to measure things for me. So I'm like, hey, there needs to be like 50 grams of this. Just make sure you zero out the scale. And she's like, sometimes she'll have stuff ready for me because of time. So, that's one thing I'm grateful for. Like the people that have been, you know, there to help me out in this. I don't think I would have been able to do this on my own. Um, it's been good. Just people I've worked out with, like Casey. Casey's been like huge, help as well. Sold me my first pair of Yeezys. Um, just hyping me up. This man fixed my bench form. There's been so many people that have been like extremely pivotal. Like conversations I've had with people that have been like that already compete. Like Matt Canis. That dude's a dog. Rhino. Like working out with him and Matt, they've been extremely helpful. Um, Even I met this dude recently. This man Nick Grubb. Um, Man, that dude, he's like, I met him recently. He's coming to the show. Michael, like Mike, like these people I've literally met recently, and whether they know it or not, they've had impacts on just prepping. Whether it's like, whether I've worked out with them, or whether it's been like words of encouragement, or just them checking in on me and showing some love. There've been a lot of people um, that have like really made this thing like you know worthwhile. They've helped me stay on track. Even like the Bible study group I'm a part of, Brothers That Pray. My dog Dez, this man Dez has really been extremely like a leader, bro. Like a leader. He's really helped me just stay on track. My accountability partner Toby, who is Dez's twin brother. We talk every Tuesday night and just kind of just chop it up, talk about Jesus, pray for each other. And he knows a lot of the things I've been struggling with, and he doesn't judge me. He prays for me. We share things that we're battling with, and just being able to like pray with him weekly has been really been helpful. Um, and yeah, like I'm ready to finish this thing, regardless of the results. I already won. That's how I look at it. I felt, there's times where I felt anxious and inadequate and not enough and behind and felt like things were delayed. But it's here. Like I feel like it's not a matter of like if, it's just when I get there. Like I already know. Like I feel so confident in the work I've already put in. It's like regardless, I won. You know what I'm saying? Like I win. I win. That's like that's just how I feel right now. Like I'm not anxious about the pose. I feel comfortable posing. I know what I should be looking like, what I should be feeling when I pose. I just got to go out there and really just show out. Like now it's like, all right, like just go, collect, come back. Just go there, do your thing, show out, and then just come back, work on the next thing.